Alright everybody, this is a boost for you with the final week before playoffs. Well, it seems that even with my loss last week, I am already confirmed to be qualified for playoffs, so that's good. And my opponent this week is also qualified as well. My opponent, Orange, he already let me know ahead of time that since we're both qualified for playoffs, he's just gonna kind of meme around with our match. And that is a good strategy on his part, in my opinion, because if we ever face each other in playoffs, then I won't have much information to go off of. So I tried to meme around a little bit with my prep, but it's still like 70% serious. So Orange's team is very scary. There's the Terra Spectrier, kind of impossible to stop once it gets its nasty plot boost. And Orange won't have a hard time doing that if, thanks to Cyclizar, with Shed Tail passing out substitutes. There's also Glimora with the Infinite Hazards. Bronzong is a little difficult to break through. I need dedicated answers, which is Arcanine and Samurott, and maybe even Palossand. Moltres is very scary too. If I Terra Electric my Arcanine, I can get Flame Body burnt, and it just Flame Body burns my Zapdos. Or if I try to do Contrary Superpower Enamorant, that won't work. It's very physically defensive after a burn, so I have to watch out for that. Wigglytuff is just there for the normal type. I think it's always important to have a normal type when you're drafting Spectrier, just in case there's an opposing Ditto that transforms and tries to reverse sweep you. Yeah, there's Cyclizar, but Wigglytuff is a tiny bit more bulkier. It's Terra Fire, this Wigglytuff, but and also I think according to draft rules, you have to bring all of your Pokemon at least once before playoffs to qualify for playoffs, and Orange didn't bring Wigglytuff once at all. So I think if the rules are what I remember correctly, then that means Orange is forced to bring Wigglytuff to this match. There's a Rude, great 600 base stat total, and I don't really have much else for it. I have lots of ways to beat it down. Mudsdale, another physically defensive threat. And then Urshifu, the fighting type to complement Spectrier's special ghost offense. I'll have to watch out for that. The new item Punching Glove also powers up Surging Strikes and prevents me from doing any Rocky Helmet shenanigans. So that's gonna be great. And lastly there's Electron, just a backbone mod. I could see it. Yeah, it's good for like running surprise coverage. And it's pretty durable considering my best wall breakers are Banded Zapdos and Arcanine. Everyone else, they don't really threaten an Oko at all. Not even a Tuco. But since Orange is gonna be memeing, let me show you what I prepped for him. So what we have here, this is Goodra with Gooey. If Orange doesn't opt to run Punching Glove, I'm still assuming that some of his sets are going to be serious, so. But if he does not run Punching Glove, Gooey will make Goodra an excellent switch-in to Urshifu, Rapid Strike, provided it does the Rapid Strike part. Because then I'll drop it to -3 speed. That way, everyone else can outspeed it. Well, except for Palossand. Even if it's Scarf, I can outspeed it. So that's good. The defense EVs allow me to live Scarf close combat, I believe. And then the special defense EVs allow me to not get 2-hit KO'd by +2 Shadow Ball from Spectrier. I think that's what happened. Everything else is just coverage. I went for Heavy Slam and over Flash Cannon, so I was kind of debating which one. Flash Cannon is good in that it doesn't trigger toxic debris from Glimora, but Heavy Slam is stronger, and it hits Spectrier's weaker defense stat, and it also doesn't have to deal with the special defense boost from Calm Mind if Spectrier opts to do that. Lastly, Thunderbolt is to cover Urshifu on the switch, or Moltres. Yeah. Protect, I know Urshifu's ability goes through Protect, so if I keep that in mind, I'm not gonna choke and Protect on the Urshifu. But Protect is mostly there for Spectrier and his walls, so I can stall for leftovers. It's also good if I can scout if Spectrier is Scarf or Specs. And yep, that's all there is to it. I know my nature is special attack lowering. Wait, no, this is wrong. I was sassy nature, Yeah, I risk getting outsped by the Electros if it just runs a few EVs, but I wasn't too scared of Electros. Then we have AV Espeon, somewhat of a meme, I guess. The speed EVs are the Creep Zarude, and then the rest is dumped into maxing out special attack and the Assault Vest boost. So the idea behind this is to make sure that Glimora can't accomplish anything. I have Magic Bounce to stop all its hazards, I have special attacks to prevent toxic debris from activating, and I have Assault Vest to be able to survive at least 2 hits from Glimora. The most it can do is like poison me with Sludge Bomb or Mortal Spin. But yep, Espeon's only job is to stop hazards from Glimora, because everyone else will definitely need hazards off for Goodra to keep the calculations correct, Palossand, and Samurott. I should mention the coverage moves gives me super effective damage on all the important targets. Dazzling Gleam for Zarude, Psychic for Glimora and Urshifu, and Shadow Ball for Spectrier and Bronzong. Now here's a meme pick, Weakness Policy Palossand. So I know that I can use him to spin block Cyclizar's Rapid Spin. So once that happens, what's the next thing Cyclizar would do? There's a chance it can shed tail. There's a very rare chance it's gonna U-turn. But if Orange is greedy and goes for knockoff, then I get to trigger my weakness policy. And I EV'd it so that +2 Earth Power should OHKO max HP Cyclizar. I think that should be how it goes. And also, with defense EVs, I am able to live a Power Whip from Zarude. And that's when I get to trigger weakness policy and reveal Sludge Bomb to 1-hit KO it back. Oh yeah, the special attack EVs are to OHKO Zarude at +2, that's what it is. And Shadow Ball, same reasons as Espeon. I won't be able to trigger weakness policy from Spectrier, but there's lots of other mons I can do it on. Electros if it has Crunch or Liquidation. random coverage from Wigglytuff and even Bronzong if they opt to run Shadow Ball for like Espeon maybe. But it's mostly there to trigger from knockoff Cyclizar. Then we have Pads Zapdos. Protective Pads is only there for Moltres. The idea is to just set up and go to town. I have 2 fighting moves this time because Thunder's Kick does not lower my defense, and it also lowers the target's defense, so I am able to keep pressuring Mudsdale. Max attack and the speed is the Creeper Shifu. And the HP EV is actually hit 1 before Stealth Rock number. So that's good, always minimize Stealth Rock damage. Oh yeah, I should mention Trailblaze. That was the main meme part. Trailblaze allows me to outspeed his Scarfers and non-Scarf Spectrator. Yeah. Now this is my favorite Mon out of the 6 I'm bringing today. This is Choice Scarf Special Sharpness Samurai. So in the beginning of the draft week, I mentioned that Sharpness actually boosts Air Slash. So that's what I'm going to be trying to exploit. And I saw Orange's battle in week 2. He got hacked to death by Choice Scarf, Air Slash, and Teleon. So that's my idea behind this Samurai. I'm gonna try to replicate what the Choice Scarf, Air Slash, and Teleon did to him. Basically, it's capable of 2-hit KOing the Zarude and the Urshifu Rapid Strike, which are basically tempted to come in onto the water type. So the rest are just filler coverage. My plan is to delete it and spam Air Slash. just like the Inteleon. They led with Inteleon and just spammed Air Slash and did so much damage. That's the plan. Dark Balls can also flinch, but it's stronger at the cost of less flinch chance. Now we have super physically defensive Ursaring. I think this is the most physically defensive I've ever ran for it. The basic Rest Talk set. This time I learned from my mistakes and I'm using Play Rough over Terra Blast because I don't want to be forced to Terra Fairy and then get mauled by the Glimmora. I'm running Swords Dance instead of Bulk Up this time because I know Surging Strikes will just ignore the defense boost, and even Zarude, it can run Darkest Lariat, I believe, which also ignores my defense boost. So might as well just pick the better option now, since my defense boost won't be helping at all. Yeah, I know I said I had Talosand to spin block, but it looks like I don't have any hazards. Oh, wait, right here, Magic Bounce. Yeah, I was thinking I'm gonna Magic Bounce the hazards and then Talosand can spin block. Oh, there's Stealth Rock right there too. Man, I haven't seen this battle in a long time. Okay, now let's get to the battle. I believe whoever loses this becomes the last seed, and they have to fight the first seed for playoffs in round 1, which is a little scary. So yep, forced to bring Wigglytuff. Well, I brought that up with Orange. I don't know if he confirmed that's a real rule, but he just brought it anyway. So over here, I see the prime targets, Cyclizar, the Urshifu, and the Zarude. Those 3 were the ones that Scarf and Teleon did a number on. So, yep, I'm just gonna lead Scarf Samurott and try to repeat the same thing. Even though Sharpness boosts Air Slash 50%, it's still just 2-hit KOs, those 3 Pokemon. So, yeah, the extra power didn't help at all, but still, a 2-hit KO is a 2-hit KO. So they lead with Glimmora. I'm like, oh, okay, how's it a meme? He's just doing the standard Spike Stacker lead? So I'm like, okay, well, I always have Espeon for that. I don't want to surf into it, because it's gonna have Sash and then start setting up hazards. So Espeon, my dedicated Glimmora check, it uses Rock Polish. I'm like, oh, what the heck? So it's a sweeping boy, but I know it can't even do it KO me, so I'm just gonna break the Focus Sash as well as cover for the Rude switch in. I believe that's what I'm gonna use Dazzling Gleam to cover the Rude. Yep. And he revealed Endure. So yeah, once I saw Endure, I was like, oh, it's weakness policy. The weakness policy didn't activate sadly, so then he just backs off the Glimmora. And that's already one meme, and here comes the next meme. And I decided once Glimmora is dead, Espeon is no longer needed. So I'm just gonna spam Espeon until it dies. Yeah, it could be nice against the Rude and Urshifu, but I'm expecting Urshifu to be Scarf. So, yeah. Now there's Goodra. He's gonna pass a Shed Tail here, and now I'm thinking, what would he pass Shed Tail to? I knew he would Shed Tail, and I was thinking, he is probably going to Shed Tail into Spectrier, because Body Press kinda looks obvious, so he would go to the Fighting Immune. So I'm like, okay, well if it's Spectrier, I'm going to Heavy Slam. And I get the play wrong. And that was in hindsight, that was a much more obvious switch, because what would Spectrier even do to Goodra? I was Eevee to not even get 2-hit KO'd at +2, so of course he would Shed Tail into something that can immediately threaten Goodra. I should have went for Thunderbolt, that was an easy read, but oh well. Now I'm in a bad position, because it can just start setting up behind the sub. Now I want to preserve Goodra, I don't want it to like immediately die, even though I know it's gonna set up. I need it alive for Spectrier. So, yeah, Zapdos was my switch into fighting type moves, and it can like immediately threaten the Urshifu, but it uses Dynamic Punch, and it misses. I'm like, oh, what the heck? And then Blunder Policy activates. It has another... Orange is using another policy. I'm like, oh crap. Now it's faster than my entire team. Even my Scarf Samurott. I'm like, oh no. What do I do? So now it starts setting up. It has basically a victory dance up. I'm able to break this up with Thunderous Kick, and for a good reason. If I went for Brave Bird, that recoil possibly could have got me killed by the Ice Spinner. Thankfully, it didn't. I mean, yeah. Now I had enough HP to throw out a Brave Bird when he's not in behind a sub. Next, now we have my Super Fizz Death Burst Ring. I have no choice but to Terra Fairy. He's gonna read that, right? And just go for Surging Strikes. Oh no, he doesn't. He thought I would try to do some big brain stay normal for Spectrier, but nope. now comes Spectre, I send out my dedicated check. Some sort of tail whip Will-O-Wisp, and he wasn't kidding when he said memes. Like, what the heck is this? Double kill. But now Gooey activates and if he kicks me some more, then Ursaring and Palosan will start outspeeding it. This was such a meme pick. And now Heavy Slam backfiring because of the burn. That was another reason why I considered running Flash Cannon, because it ignores Will-O-Wisp, which I was thinking it could also run. But alas, my Spectrier check lost to the meme Spectrier set. Very, very shameful of Gudra. But it's slow enough that I can just spam Damaron. I get a circle here. Cyclizar comes out, and it just passes some more Shed Tails. The root starts getting a speed boost. I'm like, okay, well, it can't really harm me at all. Can't even like 2-hit KO me. Continue this Trailblaze, and I get off a nice play rough. But Orange has yet another policy. It's a second weakness policy, and now he has a Shell Smash boost, basically. I'm like, oh crap, if it has like Gunk Shot or something, I think it's over. And I would have lost the meme team. That would have been so sad. But notice how I said would have been. It had Acrobatics and not Power Whip, and I was able to survive that. And Play Rough thankfully didn't miss. And from there, it's just like Cyclizar, which is not an offensive threat at all. I tried to do the meme Inteleon, but it didn't work. Turns out this Cyclizar is Scarf. It was also Scarf versus the Inteleon too, so. And with that I won. There were like 2 moments where I was 1 move away from getting 6-0'd. The Shifu, if I had the recoil from Brave Bird breaking the sub, that might have been enough to get Zapdos killed, and then Shifu just proceeds to heavily dent my Ursaring. And if Zarude had Power Whip or Gunk Shot, which I learned it doesn't even learn Gunk Shot, I'm like, oh, okay. So only Power Whip had a chance to 1-hit KO. Well, weakness policy Acrobatics though. I see that was to cover the Zapdos. Very fun match, very fun match. Props to Orange for getting all this meme set to almost work against me. And I'm just bringing boring stuff like his death, Rest Talk Ursaring, and bulk of Zapdos. Well, thanks for watching. I am in the playoffs. I am 4th seed, I believe. And my first matchup for the playoffs, it's gonna be actually my first weak opponent. So once again, it's gonna be the Clash of the Champions. See you next time.